Complete the square for a non-monic trinomial, which basically means there's a number out the front of x squared. So the first step is to factorize by that number. So what that means is we're dividing everything by that number. The second step, we want to complete the square. So that means we take this number here, 5 over 2x, 5 over 2, and we add it on. But we're going to divide it by 2 and square it. If we add it, we also have to minus it because we don't want to break maths. The line above has to equal the next line, so we have to add and minus the same thing. Now, why did we do this? If you look at these three things here, these three things can be factorized. This is a special rule. It looks like this. A number squared minus 2 times that number times another number, which we also square at the end. So for this one, a is equal to x and b is equal to 5 over 4. So then these three actually end up factorizing to x minus 5 over 4 squared. How does this work? So if you have a squared minus 2ab plus b squared, this becomes a minus b squared. It's a special rule. And that's why we complete the square, so we can factorize that first bit. So we've taken those three things and we've factorized using this special rule. All right, the next line, we're going to do some things with these fractions. Oh, there should be another bracket there. So that all stays the same. We're going to try and bring these two fractions together. So we're going to square this fraction. So now this is 16 on the bottom. So we want to make this denominator 16 as well. So we're going to multiply the top and the bottom by 8. So 2 times 8 is 16. 10 times 8 is 80. So again, this bit stays the same. Now these two, they're both minus. So together, they become minus 105 over 16. Up to this point, it's more or less called factorizing. Now we need to solve. So a great thing to do is get rid of this 2. So we can divide both sides by 2. So 0 divided by 2 is 0. And this side divided by 2 is just what's inside the brackets. Now, if you wanted to, you could actually do this earlier on. So we could have divided by 2 at the start, and then we wouldn't have needed to write all those 2's out the front. So that is a really good thing to do if you're solving. If you're solving, so it's equal to 0, you can divide by 2 at the start. Okay, after this, we then want to bring this fraction over to the other side. So we're going to add 105 over 16 to each side. Next, we want to square root both sides to get rid of this squared. So it becomes plus or minus 105 over 16. The reason for the plus or minus is because we don't know if it's negative or positive. For example, that is equal to 9, and this is equal to 9. So we don't know which one it is. So we have to have a plus and minus answer. The last step, we're going to plus both sides 5 over 4. So you end up with plus 5 over 4 to both sides, plus or minus 105 over 16. Now we can't do the square root of 105, so we could rewrite that. 105 square root and 16, we could take the square root of 16 on the bottom. X equals 5 plus or minus square root 105 over 4.